Today, I want to talk about waking up early and the fact that I don't use alarm clocks. I'm going to start with the weird thing, which is that I don't use alarm clocks. I think alarm clocks are basically the it's like a way to terrorize yourself first thing in the morning. The first thing you hear is you getting jolted out of slumber and into just the chaos of the day. And that can mean just waking up to a alarm cutting through your unconsciousness. Or actually, if you do what I do, which is I only have an alarm if I have something super early in the morning, and I have a backup alarm in that if I hear the alarm, it is truly very late. So I'm never going to miss something, but I'm going to be rushing. And maybe that's the wrong way to be using alarms. But ultimately, I just try to live a life, which means that I don't use morning alarms. What I try to do instead is I try to use a evening alarm, and the evening alarm tells me to go to sleep or wind down. And then, if everything is calculated right, I will wake up in time for an easy morning. The problem is, in the last few days, I have been skipping that evening alarm and then going to sleep later and then waking up later because I don't use an alarm. And as a result, I am waking up way later than I would want to, something around 10 or 11. And I think that's detrimental in a couple of ways. One is it really cuts into the workday and ultimately means that I am working way later into the night, which then makes me want to stay up later because I want some time after work in order to do something other than work. However, I think the other thing that it does is it really cuts the amount of waking hours that I have with the sun, and especially in London with the grayness of the sun and the sky. I think it's really important to get as much bright light as you can from the sun. So, those are two reasons that I think I want to be able to wake up earlier. And continue to I do not want to start using alarms in the morning. And so it's really important that I kind of lock in on going to sleep earlier. And the main reason I like to live a life without any alarms is because it means that I get my full rest, which I think is really important for focus. But I also get to just live a life of luxury. I think that living a life without alarms is such an incredible luxury. And it was the first thing that I was excited to do when I stopped having 9 a.m. lectures and not having a job where I have to go into an office or be answerable to someone else, is be able to just roll out of bed whenever I want. And that doesn't mean that I stay in bed and just laze around, because I'm still ultimately trying to achieve things in the day. But I do think that this is one of those things that is a free, extreme luxury. I'm extremely privileged to be able to do that. And I think I want to continue to do that because it's such an incredible luxury. Every day I'm like, man, this is so great that I get to wake up without an alarm clock. So I don't want to change that. But I do think I want to wake up earlier. And the reason I want to wake up earlier, I've sort of done the pros and cons in my head, I think. I am an incredible night owl. I think my natural sleep time is between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., and my natural wake time is around 10 a.m. So, if that's my natural sleep and wake time, why do I want to wake up earlier? One, like I said before, is because of the sun. I think that having more sunlight is important. And I think in the winter, it's important that I try to get as much sun as I can because there's so little of it. But I think the other thing that waking up early gets you is that you get to start your day in a relative period of peace because there is no real demands on your day as soon as you wake up. Everyone is asleep, or most people are asleep. People aren't expecting you to be at work. And so you don't get a bunch of demands on your day immediately. And I think starting your day and easing into your day is kind of incredible luxury that I would like to try and build into my life, not only as a way of comfort, as a thing that I love about living a life the way I do, but also I think that it's a luxury that can be highly performant. It's a thing that can really improve your ability to absorb the challenges of the day because you do not start your day with a spike of cortisol and stress from an alarm and then immediately get into a day where you feel already like you're starting late or with a bunch of demands on your day. So As a result, what I'm going to try and do is lock in on a earlier natural wake time by going to sleep earlier. I have 1% battery on my camera, so I will end it there. But basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to try and wake up earlier for the time being. There are some cons which I think I will discover in the next few days as I go through this. But the major one is I do think that my social life will take a hit, not only because there will be certain events that start way too late for me. I have a bunch of friends that do stuff between starting at like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. And those might be things that I have to give a miss for the first few months of the year while I try and orient my life in a new direction. And then the other thing is that I will get loads of FOMO from leaving events that are kind of popping. Like I think that leaving something that's kind of still going is going to be stressful. Also, my battery is screaming at me to say that I should stop, so I'm going to stop now. I hope you enjoyed the video.